catches with me on camera this afternoon, hoping to bring you some fantastic images. We're here in the Sabi Sand. We're about to head out for a 3-hour afternoon safari, evening safari. And for the last few minutes we've been sitting with an elephant bull that we saw this morning, and he's making his way from marula tree to marula tree, picking up marulas, standing in the shade. And there's a bit of a catching two birds with one stone kind of story, because as he stands in the shade of these lovely big marula trees, he's got a ground full of marula fruits to collect. He is heading down towards Philemon Zip. We're going to follow him. He's off in the distance. He was right next to us a minute or so ago. He's been in the water. He has been mudding and spraying water on him. I don't know whether that was at the dam. I don't think so, because we didn't see that on the camera. So it might have been in that mud wallow down on the western edge of the open area. But it looks like he's going to stop at a marula tree further down on the southern end. So we're going to follow him. We're going to stay with him. It might be very hot for him this afternoon, certainly hot enough for us. And we're hoping that maybe he's going to move along to some water, and who knows, we'll see where he goes after filling up on marula fruits. Magnificent bull. Not very big, still got some growing to do. Sorry, golden orb. This morning I put his age at about 20 or so. It seems he's grown a little bit since this morning. I put him in maybe his mid-20s. His head is big, his body is not very big. His head size is huge. Tusks, not too bad. Still do a lot of growing, no doubt. If I'm not mistaken, this is the exact same tree that we had him at this morning. He's done a huge circle during the day. A lot of you might not have been on drive with us this morning. May have been in dreamland. And we're going to stop here. Give him his space. Give us a bit of shade. He's in the shade. The closer we get to him, the more it intimidates him and makes him want to move on. And we'll see where he's going to go after this. This is the marula we were at this morning, I'm sure. Got a bit of a gouge mark out on the other side of the trunk. Another thing that I've noticed that is different from several hours ago, let's see what time, that would have been 10 hours ago. He wasn't leaking from his temporal gland, and now he is. I noticed when I first arrived with him this afternoon, I noticed that there is fluid coming out of his temporal gland. He could be coming into must. He's a lot drier than he was 15-20 minutes ago. He was quite wet and muddy. This goes to show how fast things dry up in this heat. One of those lovely hot summer days. February, always a lot hotter than it can be in December. Less cloud. I was hoping that we'd see some more signs of imminent rain. It's not imminent, it's a few days away, I think. The leaves of these marula trees are hanging, almost wilting. Strangely enough, the marula actually holds a lot of moisture, and the tree itself, you could cut a branch and maybe a meter or two of a branch and hang it up and let it drip. Even more so, if you could get to the roots, you could extract water from the roots. Pretty much the same thing. Take a section of root and just hang it up and let the water drip out of it. It would take a long time, but eventually it would fill up a cup. But in these dry conditions now, things are I wouldn't say wilting, because wilting, I think, infers that they're dying. It's merely perhaps a defense mechanism to conserve moisture and energy in the plant, to extract some of the moisture and lower the pressure. In the distance over his back, from my angle behind the tree, there's a vulture rising up on a thermal, and that would be coming out of Vulture's Nest Road, where there's a giraffe carcass. Evidence that, well, no evidence really, but it would seem that it was an adult male giraffe that passed away, natural causes. A lot of vulture and hyena activity there earlier. We might be able to go past there a little bit later. He tends to use his feet a little bit every now and then, especially that left front, to help him find the fruits. I watched him sort of, not sway the foot, but move that foot. Well, now he's swaying his right front, but that's just taking his weight off his shoulder. But he'll use that other foot and pad it down on the ground and actually feel for some of the fruits, maybe some that he can't find with his trunk. He can't really see what's at his feet unless he actively looks right down. So he's seeing things that are down in the front of him and then moving forward, and it's mostly by feel once it moves out of sight. He's getting an idea where there are fruits, and then he's just got to feel around with his trunk to find them. Oops, he missed his mouth with that one. You'll find a different elephant will have different techniques. I've seen elephant load 5-6 marula fruits into their trunk and sort of blast them in like a BB gun all at once, or like a shotgun. Just go. And he seems to be picking up one at a time. Some maybe chewing, some is just swallowing. He's also been digging his tusks in the mud. Thought he was about to have a bit of a rub against the tree. There's actually a patch on that tree that is just his thigh height from other elephants that have rubbed. Just below that is a bare patch where elephants have taken some bark off of that tree many years ago. There's a lot of scar tissue there. Now actually using his tail to and the back leg, just trying to gauge the distance between himself and that tree trunk. There, see, it's amazing how they'll use their tail. I've noticed this with breeding herds, with cows and their calves, females that use when a youngster is behind a big elephant cow, she'll actually feel around with her tail as though it's an extra arm. Female just touching a calf with her tail, sometimes sticking a back leg out behind them to gauge proximity. Off he goes. Now there is still a little bit of water down at Philemon's Dip. We'll see, maybe he might head that way. I think by now it's time to feed on some leaves, some vegetation, add a little bit of roughage to his diet. No, I'm not going to Philemon's Dip. Going back to the west. More marula trees. Head west, young man, go west. Reversing the route that he took this morning. When we first saw him, he was at this tree. No, not there, Lucas. No. Hello, Sandy. And welcome to our PM Safari on Wild Earth Safari. Sandy wants to know if that's a white worm or a maggot in his eye. It's just mucus, Sandy. It's the same as us. We develop build-up of mucus and dirt that the closing our eyes tends to push it out at the bottom of our tear ducts. That's why we have tear ducts. Us as humans, that is. Moisturize the eye, and by blinking we can wipe stuff off of the surface of our eye, and it gets pushed into the corner like that, hence the shape of our eye. And for an elephant it's the same thing. It's the bottom of his eye. Looking up to see if there's a branch he can shake, get some more fruits down. I'd say he's been eating marulas most of today and probably the last few days. Large portion of the diet at the moment. But since elephants don't really digest very much of what food they take in, he's not getting the benefit of every single marula that he's eating. He's only getting the benefit of a very small percentage. Well, like 25, 27% of the food that they take in they're able to process. Some of the really big bulls are able to put their head against the trunk, and either they'll do that by curling their trunk over their head or curling their trunk underneath their mouth and putting their forehead against the tree. They curl their trunk upwards and they put the base of their, like basically their upper lip, against a tree, but I think that's youngsters who don't really know how to do it properly. Sliding a tusk on either side of the tree trunk, and by almost head bashing the tree, able to shake fruit off of the tree or out of the tree. But there's a rhythm and a skill to it that not many young elephants have. I'm not too sure if he's old enough to have developed that skill. You see, you can't develop the skill until you're old enough and big enough to try it. Because the tree has a certain amount of flexibility, and when you hit it away from you, it's going to bounce back. And the key is to then hit it on the back swing again, not on the front swing. And, he has looked up to the tree a couple of times. I noticed he did it this morning. And stretched up almost, he was going to pick a branch. I could do that too, reach up for a big branch, either break it or shake fruits off of it. And as far as I know, it's only been him moving around today, and he's been quite busy picking up fruit. A bit of sand now. No. Just feeling with that foot. Wonder why the Franklins are upset.
now a bit of roughage to follow the fruit. Let me just turn ourselves a little bit so we can get a better angle. It's getting towards the back of us. It's a bit difficult for us, that angle. Breaking all the side branches off with a little piece of branch that he's got, and it's probably chew the bark off of it, get a bit of moisture out of it. But all of that fruit that he's been eating, he does need roughage to follow it through. He does need roughage to help push it through his system. The stick is emerging out the other side of his mouth without the bark. Okay, let's see if we can keep up with him. Moving through the bush briar site area. He's leaving the bulk of these large marulas. I mean, once he moves lower down the slope past the silver cluster leaf ecotone, not too many marulas lower down. He could be making his way back to that drainage line where there is a bit of water. Well, there was. I haven't seen it in a couple of weeks, but maybe there's still a bit of water down there. Okay. Just avoid the golden orbs, webs. Gone. Taking my sweet merry time about it. And I don't know where he is. We've gone through here. So it goes to show you, you can lose an elephant, as big as he is. I've lost him. Okay, well, I'll just see if he didn't come down towards the drainage line. If not, we'll leave him be. Well, he's left us, more like. I wasn't watching, I was so confident that we'd follow him. And he's given me the slip.
I don't think it's come this far, and I was just thinking maybe we could get through to Philemon's Dip this way, but it's going to get way too thick. So we'll make our way back to the open area, and I guess we'll continue our safari for the afternoon. Swallow my pride and deal with the embarrassment of losing a huge pachyderm. I lost an elephant. Not the first time, I have to tell you. like we probably went south towards Philemon's Dip. And there
are some leopard tracks here. Leopard that I saw these leopard tracks are quite fresh this morning. Heading down to Twin Dam. Well, Twin Dam Road at any rate, into drainage line near the dam. And if that leopard went any further south, it would have picked up the scent of that giraffe carcass. I'm not too sure what it would have done. I know we have had these young leopard of ours scavenging times in Duna more than Mishu. I think Mishu would rather battle with a tortoise than eat rotten meat. And with a lot of vultures on the carcass, it might be a bit too intimidating for a young leopard, but let's see, maybe we'll go past there. It's going to be very ripe in this heat. First we'll go to Treehouse. So now the elephant didn't go too far to the west. He might have come this way. We might see him from up here. Otherwise he's hiding under a log or something. And these leopard tracks again. Coming up from the dip. There was leopard all around quarantine last night. But he has quite literally disappeared. Amazing how. Aha, here are these are tracks coming up. Got to be another leopard because the vehicle was down here only seconds ago, only minutes ago. No, this is his tracks. He did come down here. He's crossed through there. I wonder if those pans, they're mud pans in here, I wonder if he hasn't gone in there, if they still hold water. It won't take long to have a look. It's probably where he is. Not exactly strolling slowly, he's on quite a fast-paced walk. I wonder if he didn't maybe just get some message from some other elephants, and that's why he picked up his pace suddenly. He wanted to meet some others. But I'm hoping that he's here at this water. Bless you. This one's still got water in, but there's a big one further on. This has got a little bit of water, not much for an elephant, certainly not drinkable for an elephant. Enough for a bit of a wallow. See, there's even an old water lily in there. Amazing how they come out of nowhere, water lilies. Yoo-hoo. Ah. Couldn't see that. Other alternative is that he's made a beeline for the pans on Chelapan Road, or actually getting to Chelapan. I really wanted to see him having a mud bath, and I know that he's feeling hot and that he's going to want to do that. Doesn't look like he's here or even came here. There's no flattened grass. And this is the big pan that I thought he might be at. Lost a lot of water. A couple of water lilies with their flowers, pretty blue flowers or purplish flowers. I still want to come here with a net. Perfect time of the year to come here with a net to see what might be in that water. Something big moving in the grass, probably a bullfrog. Switch off and try and get close on those water lilies. Nymphae. Terrapins, little terrapins. Okay, let's go. When we get to Chelapan, I'd like to see treehouse. Pretty flowers. What's this doing? tracks on the road again. He went into the bush and he's come back out and he's heading south now on Weaver's Nest. Oh, with a bit of luck he's going to Treehouse. Treehouse Dam. Certainly wasted enough time looking for him. He could be there already. I think we need to go to Treehouse Dam. There are tracks here, but they're not fresh. And there he is. Came right past Chelapan. There he is. He's passed all of these little mud wallows without stopping. And incredible straight line that he's marching in. Been throwing dust on himself, or sand from the road here. Yeah, you thought you lost me, didn't you? He has been spraying. He's got a couple of splashes of mud on him that he must have picked up along the way, but nothing substantial, nothing like he's really that hot and he wanted to cover himself. But he's, I'd say, been walking in a pretty much of a straight line ever since we left him. And that, to me, hints that he's talking to another elephant, he's meeting up with someone else. So, let's see, he's going to make his way here to the crossing, what we call Spaghetti Junction. What I'd like to do is get a view of him as he starts coming towards us. Yeah, there's a nice spot. Incredible pose, that, hanging his trunk over his tusk, resting it. Sometimes see them, just that last moment before he pulled it out, you can see as he had the tip pinched between his nose and his tusk. I've seen elephants actually pinch the tip of their trunk there and hold it there. I guess it's a way of resting it. And in typical elephant fashion, he's changed his direction slightly to come in front of us. This is Wild Earth, a muddy elephant, and my name is Mark, and welcome to our PM Safari. Smelling the air. I can't say that I've heard anything from him, but then his infrasound might be too low for me to hear if he's talking long distance. New stations, one in Blorpton Dams Road, Spaghetti Junction. Here I go. Mark, here go. Not yet, no. Following the edge of the drainage line. Okay, and just when I stop, he moves off into the bush. Well, now that he's not standing at a marula tree, he's picking up fruits. It is a little bit more interesting in that he is on this mission southeast. I'd like to see where it takes him. Feeding now as he's walking. I'm gonna head ahead of him down into the river at what's it, Mumba Road. Oh wow. There's a grey-hooded kingfisher, chestnut-bellied kingfisher. Beautiful. Oh, off he goes. It's got a much deeper blue. In fact, the blue is more a purplish blue than the Woodlands kingfisher. See, one of these elephants broken this leadwood here at the junction. Since I was here last, a while ago. There he is, up at that leadwood. I just want to have a look at this pond quickly. Oh, ample water. This is probably quite good water because there's no clay here. Oh! Greenbacked heron that must have been catching frogs. Frogs and tadpoles from African bullfrogs. A good little water spot for him. Not so much for drinking, but for cooling down. I want to wait for him. He's having a good rub against that leadwood tree. That is a very heavy tree. He's actually managed to shake it. But we'll wait for him. He's coming this way. He knows this area. He knows there's water here. He knows where every little puddle is, where every little pond is. The cat I'm going to face sideways now. I thought he might come down the open, but he's gone behind the trees. True elephant fashion. See a tree shaking. It's feeding for a bit. You rushed all this way to eat on a spark thorn. I don't believe it. You're putting me on here, elephant. Got some creeper in his mouth, so he's having some of that creeper, not necessarily the spark thorn. Ignores the water. He's eyeing it out, but he's ignored it. Anyone's interested in Glovers now, Mumba Road crossing, heading east up Mumba Road. Oh. Clearly not interested in water or mud at this point.
grabbing a branch here and there as he's walking. Not a gentle pace actually, it's quite a pace. But then with those legs, even a slow walk for an elephant is fast for us. I think it's this point that we might as well leave him be. He's heading south again. Off road. And this is rather a dense area. If he spent most of the day around that open area near camp feeding on marula fruit, this is a very good area for him to now supplement all of that with roughage, with branches and twigs and rough vegetation. I'm going to leave him be, let him wander off into the distance. We're going to go and find something else. With the afternoon cooling down a little bit, the sun getting a bit lower. Any station coming to Ndlovu? Going for that big marula tree. Okay. We'll turn around and head back. I want to go north, a little bit further north. Chris, hi there. We're on Mamba Road. We're right at the Milwaukee crossing on Mamba Road. Just east of it. He's heading in a southeasterly direction. He's going to come out on Leadwood Road soon. Maybe he's going to a big dam, like a big dam at Chitwa or something. But we leave him be. Had a fantastic afternoon with him, and crashing through the bushes now to follow him, not going to be getting a very good visual. Also, he's leaving the log of this in Ndlovu. He's just across Mamba Road heading south towards Leadwood Road, open lot. Surprised he didn't even touch this water. Well, it's pretty dark. It's like a big bowl of tea. You know how the Amazon comes down and all the vegetation around the Amazon puts tannins into the water. Well, it's kind of like that little pond.
Mind the buffalo thorn, everybody. It'll hook you. And the camera. And your hats. And your duct tape. One little squirrel, take a maroon nut and run. Okay, well now that we're here, I think it's necessary to go and check on that giraffe carcass. That looks a lot like a leopard trap. Very difficult to tell in the soft sand, but it's mostly just a depression in the sand. So we'll just have a look on Battalier Road. Doesn't seem to be anything there. Whoa. Henry, come in. Henry again. Still a lot of vulture in the tree, not as many as they were this morning, but then again a lot of vultures might have had their full. There are still a lot in the dead trees closer to the giraffe. Those of you who might not have been with us earlier or yesterday, it seems there's a giraffe that has died of natural causes. Big male giraffe. Trees are full of vultures. I saw a marabou stork circling in the north earlier this morning, and I was hoping that if it got into a thermal high enough, it might actually see vultures coming in here and might bring the marabou this way. A lot of vultures here. Oh, another one flying out of there, out of the torchwood. A lot of activity. Of course it's warm now, so they can fly a lot easier. Oh, what is that? Juvenile martial eagle. Oh, relax, children. You don't have to fly away just because I'm here. Interesting that they're not on the carcass. I think they're waiting for larger predators to come in and open it up a little bit more, perhaps. I noticed this morning there was some hyena chewing on bits of it. And that was the easiest place for the vultures to get some quick food, was where the hyenas had been chewing open the skin. Other than that, they don't have the ability to get through the skin. After a couple of days of lying in the sun, it's pretty hard and dry. Yeah, go.
Yeah, I got that finished.
Same lock as this morning. Thanks. Well, only vultures on the carcass at the moment. I was hoping with a leopard in the area he might come this way, but I doubt it. Not with so many vultures. And also if there are vultures on the carcass, it means that there are no predators on the carcass. But nice to maybe just have a quick look. We're not going to stay long. It is hard to be here in this heat and the smell. There's a lot more gone from that area of the neck. Catherine. One way to do it. Stuffing tissues up her nose. But yes, we are somewhat downwind of it. Just remember to breathe through your nose, for all of you at home. I promise you, you won't smell it. Anybody smells it, let me know. But, yeah. Time to be here is sunset. Well, I don't think a leopard would come. Not with so many vultures. He managed to die in a spot that is shady in the morning and shady in the afternoon. I wonder how that happened. Just coincidental. Okay, I think we've had a look. No need to sit here for too long. Shall we? Lots of birds circling. No sign of the marabou. If there was a marabou here, it would still be here at the carcass, marching around. Okay, vultures, you can have it back again. To be honest, I don't really know why those vultures are hanging out so far away. Other than they can't get into the carcass because the skin is too tough. And they're just hoping that the likes of a group of lion or later, well, tomorrow after the hyena been here later, maybe they'll have better pickings. But at the moment they obviously can't get too much more meat without too much effort. Probably not worth all the effort, so they're waiting. Good chance they're still going to be around for a couple of days. I think if the carcass was fresh with this many vultures, they would all be there squabbling over access to it. We're almost doing a repeat drive of this morning for those of you who missed this morning. Except I think what we'll do today is we'll go past, we've got the time, thinking going past Buffelshoek Dam. I don't know if anybody can tell me if the crocodiles have been around, and I could ask any one of us here at camp, but if any of you out there seen the crocodiles lately? When I left, we had the crocodile at Buffelshoek Dam. Oh, it seemed like 3 crocodiles. One at Buffelshoek, one at Gari, and one at Twin Dam. Could be with the heavy rains gone, crocodiles didn't want to get caught here, so they've gone back to where they came from. They just came on a hunting expedition. A guinea fowl, baby guinea fowl, on the road, making a dash. Now, it doesn't help to hide around the corner because I'm still on the road, children. Little ones are growing. If I'll go left, we'll go right. This is Central Road. We are going to go up Nyala Road North now. Squirrels. You want to find squirrels. Wherever there are marula fruits on the ground, there are squirrels. They're not interested in the fruit very much. They're interested in the nut inside the fruit. And soon we're going to be able to start opening them. And I got to buy myself a new little pocket knife because airport security confiscated mine. Silly enough to leave it in my carry bag. Not like I'm going to do anything with a 2-inch blade, but on a domestic flight to Nelspruit. Well, the Cape Town flight. But I think at least 2 X-rays missed it. Security guys, the X-ray. And that's why I forgot that it was in the bag. Especially ruler opening tool, sharp shape of the tooth. Excuse me, squirrel. Oh, little Franklin run into the grass. So predictable.
also antenna.
Golden orbs across the road. First we'll stop on this side of the dam. I don't want to spend too much time here unless there's something very exciting, because we'd want to make our way to the west. Nice to see it's still so full, retaining its water quite well. Ripples tell me they're hippo. I can see the hippo now. I see them from the other side. I'm not seeing anything else though as yet. Okay. Rhino tracks. Rhino's been here. Oh, look at that. Into the sun. Giant eagle owl. The Tambuti. Don't go, child. Please don't go. Don't go. Don't go. Stay there. Of course, we're only getting the light coming through the trees and then filtering around the owl, so we're not going to get a very clear view of it. I'm going to try with the camera zoomed in. I'm just going to try and... No, it's looking to fly away already. I just want to roll an inch or two forward. Ah, off he goes. Beautiful wingspan. Sorry, Uhu. Bubo. Bubo lacteus. The milky eagle owl, or the giant eagle owl, also known as the Verreaux's eagle owl. Verreaux, Verreaux. And I haven't really researched who he was, but it must be quite amazing to have the largest of the owls named after you and one of the largest eagles named after you. So Henry. Afshin. Go on, John.
Fambe kahle ofilboot.
Fambile kahle. Na mavukile. Njani we?
Niko. Xikanka lexiya xi la kwala.
Yeah.
Na ku nghena la ka Sydney there. From Bukhari.
Okay. Maybe if I'm lucky.
Yeah, na kurula na kuti konzwa ye west.
Really?
Yeah. And she left my group and this off. She out there.
Okay, we'll have to look after sun goes down. Yeah. Because there's other Mkonzo coming down Western Edge of quarantine for one of the boys.
Yeah, he just come here like last night.
Okay. Okay. Have fun. Bye. I'm Henry the 8th, I am. No, I'm not. So, on we go, we're heading west. For now, I don't think we're going to get much of a view because this morning towards the end of our drive this morning we had a very lucky few moments with 3 Sabah El Cheetah just on the fire break near Sydney's Dam. Henry tells me they are now closer to Sydney's Dam but still visible from the fire break. It is a little bit iffy there, so I'm not too sure if we're going to get to see them. It's an area we can't cross over. Anything I can do. There's a cut line and we are going to go west. Where that came from? Go west, young man, go west. Branch in the road way up ahead. Could have been a cat lying there.
Mrs. Elephant. Young female. Hope still good down here. Henry, come in. Abonile ntlov bubbles of Katlan. Did you see a glove on buffels of Katlan? A small champion glove, buffels of Katlan, Gary Katlan Junction. Okay, these and Glove are slowly moving south. They're going to cross the Ndlele soon. Beautiful. Managing to find a small family that are going to be crossing. Now this is the drainage line that runs along Gari Katlan, where that very big Jackalberry is. We actually often see elephant in this area where they come across from Buffelshoek. I'm assuming there must be a dam further up the stream, up this riverbed. There's a very small one there. I can just see a little bit of movement in the grass. It is tiny. It's much smaller than the, or shorter than the grasses. Just behind that young female. Must be her child. Let's see if I can move a little bit. I thought maybe I could roll backwards, but I can't. But I can start up and just go back a bit. Lovely. Do I need to move now? She's coming and probably come out toward. I do want to move just a little bit so that if they do come out, they're going to be in front of us rather than behind us. It gives us a little bit of height. There we go. 4 of them. Oh, sorry. There are 2 youngsters the same height. I wonder if this couldn't be maybe a group that I know that has 2 youngsters of the same height and size. Youngsters that have often prompted questions about twins. She's actually pushing them around, this cow. Forcing them to move a little bit. Oh, that is a tiny. That baby is very young. I think I know her. She's got a tear in her right ear. She's still going to go behind us, and that means we're not going to see the tiny little one that is only a couple of months old. No. Okay, let me move back some more. See if we can get another view of them. There she is. Okay, I want to see if she might. Give them a fair bit of space, either to come out here on the right or to come onto the road ahead of us. So which would it be? I think maybe up here on the right more than sounds like it. Oh, they're not moving. Where are you, madam? I think we might have moved back into Buffelshoek. Oh, here she is. Okay, we'll stop. Yes, come. Come on. Bring a baby. We've got people who want to see it. And you. And the other children. See if she doesn't mind me rolling without the engine. Baby suckling. She's got two tears in her ears, both almost the same. Lots of lovely grasses here for them, especially the youngsters. A lot more moisture down here in these dips. There's still a lot of seepage. There's still fairly high water table. Groundwater is not too deep. But as thick as this vegetation is, I'm glad we at least got a little bit of a glimpse of things. And just like that big bull, they've now dissolved into the bush. Can't hear them, would never know that they were there. In fact, Henry didn't know they were there. Let's see if we can... Let's see if they've gone a bit east. I'm hoping they're going to come through onto... Oh, there she is. right now, not a great visual. Just a big elephant butt next to the torchwood tree. And if anything, she's not looking as though she's coming this way. It's facing the other way. So we'll leave them, I think. Let's try and get further west. A little bit of a trek to get to the western edge, driving into the sun. But let's see if we can get there, at least to get a glimpse of the cheetah if we can. Little heart-shaped piece of quartz. For those of us who are incurable romantics. Trying to get the camera to see it. So I have to hold it with my left hand. Go away, fly. It's quite tiring holding up my arm like this. Hey, got it. Because if I hold it with this hand, then you can see the imperfection on that side. Oops, dropped it. Okay, it's gone. In my lap, in my pocket. Who is it? I think it's Cindy. That's got all the heart-shaped rocks lying in the shape of a heart. I've got a photograph of all my heart-shaped rocks balancing on top of each other. This is a good one right at the top. Station's leaving the lock of small sunburned dove with a very small Mampimpan in the running on what was a cut line at Gary Cutline Junction. Still on Buffelshoek, open lock. Morris Greeley. Thanks Mike Moss and Sharon. I guess that's Sharon. Is that Sharon Moser? Oh, Sharon Ledbetter. Thank you to Sharon and Mike Moss. Getting back to go west, young man. Morris Greeley. No? Greeley, yes. But what was the context? And why is it that it is always in my head when I'm heading west? Aha. Escape Washington. Go west, young man. Elephant tracks. Oh, there's a cow. Some youngsters. They're a few days older. Crossing over. Could be them, just crossing over backwards and forwards. So it had something to do with the quote. Leaving Washington. Go and live in the country. I'll have a look at that when I get home. But somehow it always stuck in my mind, and I've never been able to trace it back to where it comes from in my head. Mbuti Dam and Mvubu Road Junction. Beautiful afternoon here at Djuma Game Reserve. A little bit of cloud forming a bank over the escarpment in the southwest. Other than that, blue skies everywhere. It's not hot at this stage, or is it cool? It is what I would probably call just a little bit above room temperature. Kind of temperature you wish it could be this temperature day in and day out, night and day. You'd never need a jersey and you'd never need to cool down. Although I guess some people might find this hot. This would be a heat wave in the UK. No? Oh. You mean it's hotter than a heat wave? Excuse me, birds. Big snake track. Station was Kankan. Judging by the tracks that I'm seeing on Buffels or Cutline, there have been a lot of elephants crossing backwards and forwards over the last period of time. Wouldn't put it down at any particular figure. Some quite old, some quite fresh. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to stay on this road until we get closer to Sydney's Dam. I don't think there's anyone there. Any station with skunk on? Doesn't sound like it, but radios are a little bit iffy down there. What's that in the road? Nothing. It's my imagination running away with me. Impala. You guys know there's a cheetah here? Or three. Right, start looking carefully. As far as I know, they moved close to the dam. There. And I hope we'll be able to see them. One of them just sitting up in the grass. I don't think the cheetah know that there's impala so close by. As close as we're going to get to them. The second one popping its head up. Beautiful view of this late afternoon sun. They're intently looking at something down towards the water. Hippos in the dam. A young male. All three now.
something on the other side of the clearing as well that's now attracting their attention. This could be... This is a perfect time of the day. It's not too hot. The energy that they put out now in a hunt is far less of an effort. Well, it's not as bad as trying to hunt in the heat of the day. If they knew they were impala only a few yards behind us, they probably might go for them, although they're not as much in the open as the cheetah would probably like them to be. Mike Moss was saying that last year there were 3 youngsters that he had seen that had made their way from Manyeleti down to Londolozi area, which would have crossed right through Buffelshoek. At the time they were about 18 months old. Something else is coming out of the bushes. I can't see it yet. Mike Moss, for those of you who don't know, is one of our viewers, a long-time viewer, who has visited this area regularly over the past few years. And I'm thinking these are possibly the same youngsters, sub-adults, making a mark for themselves, staying as a coalition while they're still sub-adult. If they were brothers, they might stick around together a while longer, but a young female would want to be on her own. Bookends. Hi Vivian. Vivian wants to know if they will establish some sort of territory here. Cheetah are not that territorial. They do have home ranges. And it would be very difficult to answer that, Vivian, on account of the fact that I don't know much about the overall population of cheetah. You see, we could maybe discuss leopard, because leopard territory is very small. When we look at Karula's territory, our leopard female that has the 2 new cubs, and whose cubs we've been watching grow up over the last 2 years. Having a very small territory, leopard are able to be monitored a little bit easier when one doesn't have a very large area to cover as a human being. If I was able to cover a much larger area, I might have a better idea of not only the population status of cheetah in this area, which I think is fairly good. I've been in the Sabi Sand on numerous occasions in the past, and there's always been good cheetah. And Manyeleti, which I've also been there and found great cheetah up in Manyeleti. But the ratio of males to females, there are a number of factors that would cause these 3 youngsters to be far more nomadic for the first couple of years of their sub-adulthood. It's only really when they get to be about 4 or 5 that they might sort of establish an area that they will mainly use. But for now, they're probably getting bumped from area to area because they're youngsters. I don't see them being much more than 2 years old.
College School. Hello, Ellen. Ellen, the teacher at Brush College School, Miss Berger. So I'm going to try and go forward because they're starting to move a little bit, and I do want to see if I can get the makeup of these kittens. So maybe if we just stay here, they'll come on the other side on the quarry bush. This is the last we're going to see of them. So, Miss Berger and your class, I'll answer the question momentarily. They're very cautious the way they're walking. The young male up front. 2, 3, all boys. So there we go, 3 boys. Nice little coalition. They're going to grow up together. They might become quite a formidable force as far as hunting is concerned. Unfortunately, this is the last we're going to see of them because they're now heading north. They did come from the south. I think Tara saw them on the on Vuyatela Access Road about 7 o'clock this morning, heading north. Okay, now I need to go a little bit forward just so that we can see them disappear because we have this acacia in the way. Pardon? No. I'm on a bit of a slope. Can't roll, I'm afraid. Sadly, that's the last we're going to see of them for now. But Ellen was asking, or the class was asking, this is Decatur, or is it Decatur? Anyway, I don't see cheetah more often, and now, if we have a look at this beautiful open area that we're at, and once the cheetah disappear, Cat will be able to zoom out and we'll be able to look at this beautiful patch of open grassland. This is cheetah's habitat. An area that will make them feel, this is where cheetah will feel comfortable. They can see other predators coming. This is what they need for hunting. They need this kind of openness to be able to reach those speeds at hunting that they require to be able to bring down their prey. And we don't have any of this. Called quarantine. And that's about it. And then of course up at Sandy Patch, which is why we always see cheetah coming through from Impala Plains to Sandy Patch and coming through to here. There's quite a consistency of the area that cheetah move through, because where they're headed now, going up north, is going into beautiful big open grassland areas, and then up into Manyaleti even more so. Cheetah in thick bush are going to find a problem. Very close quarters, and while cheetah might something gave him a fright. It was a frank move again. maybe lost you a little bit. Look at this impala hunting here. Bush is not really conducive to help them very much. I have seen thick bush, but if they're stuck in thick bush during the night, it's quite dangerous for them. And the small patch of land that Djuma is, although it is in the overall terms of the Sabi Sand Game Reserve, it's quite small. In fact, if you look at it in a bigger picture of Kruger National Park, there are some places that have open areas and open grassland areas bigger than the whole of Djuma Game Reserve. One of the main reasons why we're not seeing cheetah very often is because it is not ideal cheetah habitat. And, well, habitat is very important. One thing to have the animals, it's another thing to have the right habitat for them. But so glad we managed to get a glimpse of them. Nice. Even more so that I managed to at least see that they're 3 young males. And with a little bit of luck in the future, we might be lucky enough to see them come back this way. Slightly older, more experienced, less nervous. They're youngsters, they're very nervous. They know that lions sleeping in the shade won't hear them until they're almost on top of them. And they won't be able to see the lion. So they've got to be very cautious. Let's take Gallagher shortcut and head back. Station's leaving Trieskankaan, heading north into Buffelshoek, lost visual. Andrew, come in. Andrew, come in. Andrew, come in. No good. I'll leave it be. Gallagher shortcut. Well, just to add to my chatting about cheetah, even if we had a large open area, it is not likely that we would have cheetah there very often, because they would utilize an open area, they'd come and hunt on an open area, and once they've been there for a day or two, they would have to move on. Everything would get used to them being there. Plus, there's always the danger of being found out by lion, leopard, hyena, buffalo. So it's not to say that cheetah will stay in an open area, even if it is 1,000 hectares. They won't be able to stay in the same place. They have to be on the move constantly, finding new hunting grounds. But once the impala and the warthog realize that they're in an area, they become a lot more vigilant, and it becomes harder to hunt them. So I'd say we've been pretty lucky. We've had 5 different cheetah on 2 sightings in probably about just over a month, I think. Andrew, come in. Andrew, come in. Right as with Skoroko. Those 3 skunks started moving up that Ndlele that you went on. Those 3 skunks started moving up that road that you headed north on, around Sydney's Dam. I've left them open locked. Noisy Franklin up ahead, complaining about something. Something might be in there. Franklin that's complaining bitterly, noisily, incessantly. Hello, Pam. Pam Landy. Pam Landy. Pam wants to know, since they're so unusual to see, do we have to file a report on the sighting? Not really, Pam. Not really. There was a project, I don't know if it's still on the go. There was a project in Kruger some time ago. And if Penny was watching, Penny would know because she goes to Kruger so often. Much the same way as there was a project for Wild Dog, there was a project in Kruger that invited viewers, or rather tourists, people in Kruger National Park and surrounds, to submit photographs of cheetah. Profile shots, body shots, photographs that markings could be taken down to identify individuals. And it was through that kind of a project that it was a greater understanding came about in terms of the numbers of different cheetah and the areas that they covered. A very similar thing was done with Wild Dog. Now, since these are in a private game reserve and they get photographed by people a lot. Oh, wildebeest tracks, they've gone west. Probably up to Impala Plains. So, at this stage, as far as I know, there is nobody monitoring or requiring info on cheetah. Not to my knowledge, I might be wrong. Living in the bush, we're actually far removed from what is going on, even though we're on the internet from time to time. What have I got here? Apart from marulas all over the road. And old elephant tracks. Much else. Zoe's Road. I want to see if we can. There's a bit of a sunset going to be happening. Might get, maybe Impala Plains would be a place to view it. See it going over the mountain. That cloud, at the start of drive, we had some cloud bank way down in the southwest over the escarpment that is now moving up to the northeast. The cloud is now stretching south of us. We can actually see it. But there is weather moving up along the escarpment. Whether it reaches this far east is another matter, because it tends to move up along the mountains and a certain radius of those mountains, or distance from the mountain. So we could have an overcast sky tonight. Looks like there might be a couple of thunderheads behind that. Not to say that there'll be rain here, but it will be nice. There is definitely rain in the air. Judging by different coloured sand burrows that I'm seeing, some of the insects know it as well. Really beautiful light now. Sun touching some cloud and just painting it a little bit orange. To get to Impala Plains to see that nice. Sometimes since I've seen a sunset. A barbet. Barbet with a full beak. Crested barbet. Lovely black and yellow and red bird. Nice to see zebra still around, some zebra tracks coming down the other way though. We'll have to look for zebra and wildebeest another day. Well, thank you for the info, Penny. Penny just saying that, yeah, I don't think Penny gave a date, but I do remember those two projects, and Gus Mills was involved in one of them, the wild dog and the cheetah. The people send in photographs. Very appropriate place, time to make. And this It should be fine here, but I'll move.